Hyrule Field, an open landscape filled with wonder and dreams. A sprawling plain bathed in the warm glow of the sun during the day, and transformed into a mysterious landscape under the moonlight. If you grew up in 1998, that is. Hyrule Field felt like a monumental step forward at the time, a natural hub that linked together the various locales, each pathway marked with distinctive features that connected different areas seamlessly, with a loading screen. Nowadays though, this is considered empty. Loading screens are annoying, and walking to the next area through Hyrule Field is for losers. So, I set out to craft a route to beat Ocarina of Time while making sure to set foot in Hyrule Field the least amount of times without using glitches. Now, before we get started, comment how many times you think Link needs to enter Hyrule Field in order to beat the game. If you want a hint, it's probably less than you're thinking. Alright, you done? Ready? Let's do this then. As always, we start out in Kokiri Forest, and at this point, not much changes, because we're not even allowed to go outside into Hyrule Field. Truly, this guy is the hero of today's story. Grab a sword, grab a shield, stab Mido, then get rid of the spider problem in Dicketry by spraying him with some bug spray. Oh. Whoops. Well, we got a slingshot and an emerald out of the deal, so we'd best leave, but we'll need proper travel gear. If you're thinking food, water, maybe a tent to stay in if it rains, obviously it's none of that. What we need is an ocarina, so we have to go talk to Saria. Unfortunately, after Saria gives you the ocarina, she says something about
your controversial topic here,
and Link runs away into Hyrule Field. This instance becoming the first time we enter Hyrule Field throughout this playthrough. This one is unavoidable for two reasons. One, we don't have a link to the market area yet other than Hyrule Field, and two, we need the Ocarina cutscene to progress, which dumps us into Hyrule Field anyway. Making our way to the castle town, we make sure not to stop anywhere to prevent re-entering Hyrule Field and adding to the counter. We go ahead and meet Zelda, who tells us we need to find the other two stones, the Goron Ruby and the Zora Sapphire. They are with the Gorons and Zora right now, and she believes that an 11-year-old can do a better job at protecting the Goron Ruby than the Runia, so off we go. Impa makes sure to take us to Hyrule Field, giving us absolutely no choice in the matter, so thanks for that? Back over in Hyrule Field, this is normally where we take a quick stop to check on the ranch and set up getting Epona in the future. But getting Epona in the future would add a re-enter to Hyrule Field through a cutscene, meaning Epona isn't joining us this playthrough. What we can do, however, is grab the Sun Song in the graveyard, the bottle from the allergic chicken lady, and a piece of heart if you want to be cheeky by jumping off the watchtower. When you're done scavenging for items in Kakariko Village, it's time to go meet the Gorons. Here's the tricky thing, when you talk to Darunia, he'll be in a bad mood. This is where for a lot of players the game gets a little bit confusing, because you're supposed to figure out by talking to this Goron over here that the music of the forest is his favorite. You then use the fire in Darunia's room, move it all the way towards the shortcut in the forest, hit the bombs in the wall and open it. This way we can get back to the forest and talk to Saria without ever touching Hyrule Field and learn Saria's song. Normally I'd say screw all that, we'll save and load the game and just walk back through Hyrule Field, but you know, the premise of the video and all, so do the intended bomb thing. Now we can go back to Goron City without touching Hyrule Field, get the Runia to absolutely jam out for a bit, give us the key to his pet dinosaur, crash it and get paid for our help in pulling off insurance fraud. Goron Ruby secured, which means we climb the mountain and get the magic meter unlocked since it will be important later, and we're here anyway, might as well. Our next step is the Zora Sapphire, but unfortunately we don't have a way to enter aside from Hyrule Field for now. So finish up anything you might want to do, then take our third step into Hyrule Field. If you forget something in the area though, rest assured you'll be able to get it later, even if it is in a rather roundabout way. Heading into Zora River, it kinda looks like an extension of Hyrule Field, but because it's not called Hyrule Field, we're good. While we're here, you can go grab some beans and heart pieces. For the sake of pacing, I won't dwell on these things as if we need them. Because we don't. We're going straight to the Zora diving game. Once you win the Silver Scale, Link's world reopens quite a bit. With the Silver Scale in hand, the Lost Woods now serves as a new hub point between Goron City, Zora's Domain, and Kokiri Forest, meaning that you can go grab anything in the following areas without ever having to hit Hyrule Field now. This will be important later on. For now, prevent the fish from choking on the smaller fish and demand payment. The smaller fish instantly gives you the Zora Sapphire. maybe a young teenager at best wasn't the best to hold one of the 4 keys to the Sacred Realm. Then again, we're holding all 3 stones now, and Link is like, what, 5 years old? So we had best go to the castle and dump these onto Zelda, who is also a child. But we'll go through Lake Hylia in order to grab the Scarecrow song while we're out here anyway. This is an essential part of the video, by the way. Plus, we can take Kapora Gabora all the way to our destination after that, which will save us a little bit of time that we wasted on doing unimportant things. This is where we run into Hyrule Field number 4. A cutscene plays in Hyrule Field where Link gets hit with a glow-in-the-dark baseball, and we find the title of the game and the Song of Time while on the way to the castle. At last, we have the keys needed to open the Door of Time now, which means it's now time to pull out the mask. Get Din's Fire first, this will be useful later. Now we get to pull out the Master Sword. Goodbye, puberty. Hello, random ninja who was watching me sleep. Alright, so Link is a big boy now. Where do we go first? That's right, Hyrule Field number 5, as it's time to go to Kakariko Village. Since we can't pick up Epona's song, I cannot get Epona, so there's no real need to go anywhere else but Kakariko Village. We'll need to go to the graveyard, but while we're here, we might as well grab the Song of Storms as well. After racing a corpse, something that's usually not that difficult, we find the hookshot and are met with 2 options. Option 1, go to the Fire Temple immediately, ignoring the Forest Temple for now, as the Fire Temple is possible to finish without the bow. Or, option 2, go to the Forest Temple and follow the story of the game. I decide to go with option 3, go to the Water Temple first, ignoring everything the game is giving me as a realistic option. First, go to Goron City so that we can enter the Lost Woods from there and make it to Zora River. Then, through Zora's domain, we can make it to the Ice Cavern. Talk to our very confused ninja friend, but don't go to the Water Temple yet. We'll need to get close to either the Forest or Fire Temple to get another warp song to be able to escape Lake Hylia without touching Hyrule Field. I'll pick the Forest Temple, for reasons. Alright, so, Water Temple. By cleverly skipping certain doors and using the fact that we can get both Din's Fire and Farore's Wind to our advantage, we can skip 2 keys in the Water Temple. This way, we can go and defeat Dark Link earlier than intended and get the long shot. With the long shot in play, we can grab the boss key and leave the temple victorious. Next, I'm in Lake Hylia again, but I cannot go and grab the fire arrows yet since, you know, I don't have a bow. So I fully unlocked the Scarecrow song by playing my excellently composed song. Now let's escape Lake Hylia without touching Hyrule Field by playing the Minuea Forest. But I still don't enter the Forest Temple. I have a different plan in mind. Instead, I take the forest route to go to Death Mountain. We're going to the Fire Temple, but I intend to take the scenic route. Instead of going through Goron City, I climb all the way to the top to enter the crater, and finally jump down, landing on a small platform. You might have noticed I've been making a point out of collecting the Scarecrow song this entire time. This is why. Using Pierre, I'm able to reach the other end and enter the Fire Temple without ever setting foot in Goron City or even meeting Sheik, completely skipping out on the Bolero of Fire. Within the Fire Temple, the bow is only ever used here, and we can simply climb over the edge of the cage to get to the item this door conceals, so we really don't need it. Also, it's just a dungeon map. Get Hammer, Smash Dragon, victory is ours! After finishing the Fire Temple, entering Goron City will see the city mostly back to normal, but since all the dialogue is now replaced with the Gorons thanking Link for saving them, Link the Goron is no longer able to open the door to the shop, nor will he give you the Goron Tunic, locking the Fire Tunic away, never to be acquired again. And then we do the Forest Temple, which I don't have nearly as dumb as a process for, but with the long shot in hand, we can skip some otherwise annoying parts like sneaking past these spiders. The hammer doesn't really contribute anything, unfortunately. After that, we Serenade of Water our way to Lake Hylia and grab our Fire Arrows prize. From here it gets a little bit tricky, because depending on whether or not you abuse the function of the game that sets your spawn location to be at the Temple of Time, there are either 2 travels to Hyrule Field here, or just the 1. Because to get to Nocturne of Shadow, you have to enter Kakariko Village from the entrance. Don't question why the ghost in the well requires us to do that. Since we have to hit Hyrule Field anyway, this would be a good moment to get the Prelude of Light, which will connect us to the Castle Town. You can either save warp, saving anywhere outside a dungeon and reopening the game, or go on foot and use use Hyrule Field. This is officially the only optional Hyrule Field step so far, and will depend on whether or not you consider the save warp cheating. Either way, since we have to enter Kakariko Village from Hyrule Field, it will still be number 6. Been a while since we've been in Hyrule Field, huh? Almost started to miss it. With the Prelude of Light and Nocturne of Shadow in hand, we're now able to instantly warp between Kakariko and Castletown without ever hitting Hyrule Field. We are in the home stretch now. After unceremoniously finishing the bottom of the well and Shadow Temple, yeah, I couldn't really think of anything to say about these, you just used the warp songs again. We can now make our way to the Spirit Temple. This will require just one last hit of Hyrule Field to get to Gerudo Canyon. We do have to go back and forth to change age, but that's why we've already picked up the Prelude of Light. After finishing the Spirit Temple, on which I once again have nothing to say except nipples, we can make our way back to the Temple of Time using the Prelude of Light. Here we can see Sheik turn into Zelda, and Zelda gets taken away. And here's where all that setup with doing the Water Temple first comes to fruition. You see, now that Sheik is revealed to be Zelda, and Zelda is revealed to be taken away, we're supposed to go to the castle, which means no more Hyrule Fields. But we're taking one more detour using the Minuea Forest. One more detour to the top of Death Mountain to jump down, call Pierre, and instead of going to the Fire Temple, we go to this bridge to talk to Sheik. Sheik is unharmed and ready to sing a song for us just like the old days, which means we saved Zelda! Congratulations! Wait, what was this video about? Oh, right, yeah, you only need to hit Hyrule Field 7 times because we can just go kill Ganon now. 8 if you think safe warping is cheating, which is less than the amount of main dungeons in Ocarina of Time. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Time to go home, everyone. That's the video.